In the heart of Central Asia, in the year 751 AD, two of the world's greatest empires collided in a battle that would echo through the ages, the Battle of Talas. This pivotal conflict, fought along the banks of the Talas River in what is now Kyrgyzstan, was not merely a contest of arms, but a struggle for influence, trade, and the future of an entire region. The forces of the Abbasid Caliphate, the burgeoning power of the Islamic world, met the armies of the Tang Dynasty, China's most cosmopolitan and powerful dynasty, in a confrontation that would leave lasting marks on the course of history. To understand the significance of Talas, it's essential to look at the broader context of the 8th century. Central Asia was a crossroads, a vast region crisscrossed with caravan routes, most notably the legendary Silk Road. This ancient network of trade routes linked the distant civilizations of China, Persia, Arabia, and beyond, facilitating not just commerce, but the exchange of ideas, religions, and technologies. Control of these routes was a prize that both the Abbasids and the Tang coveted, for whoever held sway over Central Asia could shape the economic and cultural tides of Eurasia. The Abbasid Caliphate, which had only recently supplanted the Umayyads, was rapidly expanding its influence. The Caliphate's armies, led by skilled generals and motivated by religious fervor and the promise of riches, sought to bring new territories under their sway. At the same time, the Tang Dynasty was at its zenith, its armies pushing westward to secure the empire's frontiers and protect its lucrative trade interests. The Tang, renowned for their sophisticated bureaucracy, vibrant culture, and military prowess, had established a string of protectorates and alliances across the steppes and oasis cities of Central Asia. The immediate catalyst for the Battle of Talas was a dispute over the control of the city-state of Tashkent. Local rulers, caught between the ambitions of the Tang and the Abbasids, played one side against the other, igniting tensions that soon escalated into open warfare. The Tang Emperor dispatched General Gao Xianzhi, a seasoned commander of Korean descent, to lead the Chinese forces. The Abbasids responded by sending an army under Ziyad ibn Salih, supported by their allies, including contingents from the Tibetan Empire. As the two armies converged near the Talas River, the stage was set for a confrontation of epic proportions. Estimates of the size of the opposing forces vary, but historical accounts suggest that tens of thousands of soldiers took part in the battle. The Tang army, well-disciplined and experienced in the art of war, initially gained the upper hand. Under General Gao's command, the Tang forces launched coordinated attacks, pushing back the Abbasid lines and inflicting heavy casualties. However, the tide of battle turned dramatically due to the actions of the Karluks, a Turkic tribal confederation allied with the Tang. Sensing an opportunity to advance their own interests, the Karluks switched sides in the midst of the battle, attacking the Tang army from the rear. This betrayal was devastating. The Tang forces, caught between two enemies, found their formations thrown into chaos. Despite General Gao's best efforts to rally his troops, the Tang army was overwhelmed, suffering heavy losses. Gao himself managed to escape with a fraction of his men, retreating eastward to report the disaster. The Abbasid victory at Talas was more than just a military triumph. It marked a decisive shift in the balance of power in Central Asia. For the Tang Dynasty, the defeat spelled the end of their westward expansion. Weakened by internal revolts and external threats, the Tang were forced to withdraw from the region, abandoning their protectorates and leaving Central Asia open to new influences. For the Abbasid Caliphate, the victory at Talas solidified their dominance in the region. The Abbasids moved quickly to incorporate the former Tang territories into their growing empire. The battle opened the door for the spread of Islam across Central Asia, as local rulers and peoples came under the sway of the Caliphate. Over the following centuries, the region would become a vibrant center of Islamic culture, scholarship, and trade. Yet the most far-reaching legacy of the Battle of Talas was not military or political, but technological. In the aftermath of the battle, the Abbasids captured a number of Chinese artisans and craftsmen, among them papermakers. Until this time, the art of making paper, a revolutionary technology that had originated in China centuries earlier, was a closely guarded secret, unknown in the Islamic world and beyond. The Chinese prisoners brought this knowledge to Samarkand, one of the great cities of Central Asia, where they established the first paper mills outside of China. The introduction of papermaking had a profound impact on the Islamic world. Unlike parchment or papyrus, paper was cheap, durable, and easy to produce in large quantities. This made it possible to copy books, documents, and scholarly works on an unprecedented scale. In the great cities of the Abbasid Empire, Baghdad, Damascus, Cairo, libraries and centers of learning flourished. Scholars translated, preserved, and expanded upon the wisdom of the ancient Greeks, Persians, Indians, and Chinese, laying the foundations for the golden age of Islamic science, medicine, mathematics, and philosophy. The ripple effects of this technological exchange did not stop in the Islamic world. Over the centuries, the knowledge of papermaking spread westward, eventually reaching Europe. The availability of cheap paper would revolutionize communication, education, and the recording of knowledge, paving the way for the Renaissance and the scientific revolution. The Battle of Talas thus stands as a turning point in the history of Central Asia and the world. It marked the end of Chinese influence in the West and the rise of the Islamic world as a beacon of culture and learning. The battle also exemplified the complex interplay of politics, alliances, and betrayals that characterized the medieval world. The fate of empires was often decided not just on the battlefield, but in the shifting allegiances of local rulers and tribes. The cultural and religious landscape of Central Asia was forever altered by the events at Talas. The spread of Islam brought new values, traditions, and systems of governance to the region. It also fostered a spirit of tolerance and curiosity, as Muslim scholars sought to learn from and build upon the achievements of other civilizations. The region became a melting pot of ideas, where traders, travelers, and thinkers from across Eurasia met and exchanged knowledge. In retrospect, the Battle of Talas reminds us that history is shaped as much by the movement of ideas and technology as by the clash of armies. The victory of the Abbasids not only secured their dominance in Central Asia, but also facilitated one of the most important technological transfers in human history. The spread of papermaking changed the world, making the preservation and dissemination of knowledge easier than ever before. The legacy of Talas continues to be felt today, in the libraries and archives that preserve the wisdom of the past, in the rich tapestry of cultures that define Central Asia, and in the enduring connections between East and West. The battle stands as a testament to the power of human ingenuity, the unpredictability of history, and the ways in which even the most violent of conflicts can give rise to new possibilities and new worlds. As we reflect on the Battle of Talas, we are reminded of the importance of understanding our shared history, the triumphs, the tragedies, and the enduring exchanges that have shaped our world. By exploring moments like Talas, we gain insight into the forces that drive civilizations, the connections that bind us together, and the legacies that continue to influence our lives today.